Mhm. It's live.
I've lost you.
No, I'm here. We're just giving it 2 minutes to just settle.
Okay.
Okay. Let's start. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome back to Soulful Conversations Season 2, presented to you by Soulful Journeys and Aranyachar. Me and Aniket are really thankful to you for the amazing response to our show, and it's really encouraging us to come up with so wonderful concepts and even work harder towards creating a sustainable tourism environment for everyone. We are so glad that someone from across the continent loved our initiative and contacted us and supported us in our thought processes. In fact, we are more indebted towards her that she is giving us an opportunity to learn so many things. So let us welcome our first guest for this season and someone from international borders. So Mrs. Maria Barayamujura from Uganda. Let me introduce to her. Maria, can you just say hi to everyone?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for
Hi,
tuning in.
Maria. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on board with us today.
I'm humbled to be hosted on this platform.
Yes. Let me quickly introduce everyone to Maria. She is an award-winning social entrepreneur with a passion for sustainable tourism. She is the founder and CEO of COBATI. COBATI is basically community-based tourism initiative. With her expertise in leisure tourism industry for around 37 years, her innovative thinking, and especially the empathy towards the people, she has brought a significant change in rural communities by encouraging them to preserve their culture and environment. She is an Ashoka Fellow and has won several international awards and represented her organization in different countries across the world. She is a motivational speaker and works towards women empowerment throughout East Africa. Maria has been distinguished herself as a go-to person for rural communities empowerment through community-based tourism and skill-based training. She has made incredible contribution towards changing the socio-economic status of several communities and empowered them to be actually be proud of the rich natural heritage and use it to tap into the benefits of tourism to improve their livelihood. So let us welcome Maria and ask her about her journey into the tourism industry and especially of how did she get all this inspiration to start the community-based tourism. Welcome, Maria, ma'am.
Thank you, Diti.
Yes. So, ma'am, please tell us about what was your journey throughout till you came to this particular community-based and how the Kubati was introduced and what was your inspiration behind it?
My journey is it's a long journey, but what I can say is that I grew up in a household where my father was very into culture and heritage. He loved his culture. He loved, sharing and inspiring people to learn their language, to preserve their way of life. And my father was a clergyman. So he would even do, during his church work, the audience, he had that kind of gift, even at our home. So I grew up aware about my culture, the richness of it. And then when I go into my primary school was along the highway to one of Uganda's main tourist circuits. So that was my first encounter with tourism as a young person, to see vans of going to the national park with tourists. You know, people would say they are going to the national park, they are going to Maria Safari Lodge. So it was sort of like interesting for me. Again, I continue, I do my O-levels. I'm in a school where also I get opportunity to visit a national park for the first time, to stay in a lodge. And then I looked at all these tourists. So from there, consciously like that. So a short story short, in 1982, I am like a chairperson of our municipality. And then I am also into women, into, you know, when you're at that level of in a community, you sort of like the mayor person, you meet women groups, you meet. So near our municipality, there was a national park called Mbolore National Park. Then I was appointed to the national platform as a member of the women of Uganda, like a platform for women in Uganda. So on that level, I got more into these social, you know, interactions, meeting different groups of people. And then from then on, I got appointed as a director of Uganda Tourist Development Corporation, which was a participator responsible for Uganda's tourism. So then from then on, I got into doing my own travel and tour agency, and then I did normal tour business. I got into representing Zambia Airways, Royal Swaz Airlines, Cameroon Airlines. Then from that experience, it exposed me to the kind of tourism which was different from Uganda's tourism, where in Uganda, our tourism was mainly, you know, safari based.
Yeah.
It was good because we had like the half of the rare mountain gorillas there in the world, half is in Uganda. So we are doing very well with the safari tourism, we still are. But then when I got that kind of exposure, I saw a different kind of tourism where local people were participants, where there were other products, including handcraft, including culture, including heritage, including you know, food, and it was light. And what interested me was that most of the participants were women and rural people. They were also participating in the tourism marketplace and benefiting, which was not very well normally, because when you talk about tourism in Africa, safaris, tourists come, they go in a van, they go to national parks, they tour, then they go back home. So yeah, that's what made me very interested in promoting community tourism, bringing tourism to the local people, and bringing tourists to rural areas, to see the beauty of rural areas of Uganda. The hospitality Ugandans are very friendly. So, and then again, I could see how tourism can be a tool for income generation and people empowerment, especially through small tourism-related enterprises. So that's basically my journey, which is very long, but I can maybe sum it up like that. That's right, what it is.
So that inspired to actually start up your NGO or the entrepreneur.
Yeah. Because after that, I went to Israel. I trained into rural tourism as a tool for income generation. I saw how rural tourism works. Then I came and I closed the travel agency and I opened up the NGO. And that's how COBATI came into place. And that's how I've been operating it. And that's how I became an Ashoka Fellow as a social entrepreneur, because of my work of trying to make impact. Because for me, my journey or my work, it's not about even what I get out of it, but it's if I see impact, if people can change, if I can change the people's mindset and say, yeah, so we can do this, and then we do it. That's what for me, that's what drives me.
Right. So how did you find a particular community and what inspired you? Like, Uganda must be having so many different communities, castes, tribals, villages. So how did you come up with, like, I want to work with this particular community and start it can be my first model or something?
Okay, the good thing is that where I come from in southwestern Uganda, it's Uganda's main tourism circuit. Southwestern Uganda has 7 of Uganda's 10 national parks.
Okay.
Uganda has 10 national parks, but 7 of them, when they are in southwestern Uganda. And where I live in Mbarara, it's like a transitory town or municipality. Now it's been raised to city status. When you are going to those 7, you transfer through there. And so I knew the potential. And then again, like I was aware, like I told you, I was aware about culture and the beauty of it and the strength of it. So I was like on the lookout, and that's how I came to do my first project with the Nubian community in central Uganda. But then again, my work was recognized by the World Bank in 2000. I participated in a World Bank development marketplace competition where they were seeking ideas about poverty alleviation, and I used my idea of community tourism. So I was able to work with I was recognized by UNDP, which, and a private sector development program in Uganda, where they were working with the 25 districts of promoting poverty alleviation programs. So they brought me on board to also include community tourism. So I was able to use that platform to know more, go travel more, and get to know the places which had potential, which I would later incorporate into my program.
Okay. So was it like, how did you approach the community, and were the people welcoming to let someone out of the community to come in and guide them through this? Were they really good with that idea that tourism can make a difference to them and they can promote their culture? So were there any hard times you had to struggle with that to really convince that community? How did that all go?
The good thing is that I would do it on a personal level.
Okay.
When you go to a community, there are people who are opinion leaders in a community. There are people whom you know that if I come to DP's place, I'll visit her, and then from her, she will introduce me, and then people will say, if DP knows Maria, then it's okay. So that is my entry point in doing that. For example, the Nubian community, which I'll showcase later, I got to know them through a government official. In 2003, the government of Uganda, through the Discovery Channel, they came and did a film on Uganda using President Museveni, our president, as the chief guide. They traversed Uganda, showcasing it on the channel. So I met one government official because I was there on the committee of culture and tourism. Then he said, "Come to my community. If you are promoting culture and community for tourism, my community we are Nubians. We have very rich culture. You come to the." So it was through that gentleman when he invited me to visit his community when there was a wedding. Okay. And because he was an opinion leader and it was a gathering, a community thing, I came as his guest. Then he introduced me, and so that was the point. I always go through. I just don't just go like that. I use that kind of model where I come knowing somebody of influence, of integrity in a community.
Right. And I think marriage is the best time where you can see the real cultures and traditions, and people are welcoming you. So there is food, there is dressing,
there's dance, there's dressing,
music.
There's music. That you see the culture and weddings and culture activities. In people like in Africa, we do community things. We don't do, if it's a wedding, it's a big thing. If it's a funeral, it's a big thing. If it's a harvest, it's a big thing. If it's making beer, banana beer, it's a community thing. So those kind of gatherings are very good and colorful, and that showcases what the people are.
Right. Yeah. So is it just this Nubian community that you are helping, or there are more such kind of villages or communities that you are looking after at the moment?
Uganda is our cultures are diverse, but when you go to like the northern Uganda, they have very rich culture. The dances are different. The food is different. The hospitality is different. Eastern Uganda, Western, so they are different. So now, like in Central Uganda, where we piloted the project with the Nubian community, theirs is a different culture. Their crafts are different. Then you go now, when we finished with the central of the Nubian community, we went to southwestern Uganda, where we have a community now, which is where they do agriculture. They also have cattle. In Uganda, we have long-horned cattle with very long horns. I don't know whether you have seen them. They are very unique in terms of their culture, in terms of the way they look. So the cattle keepers, they have a different culture, and then the people who do agriculture, they also have a different culture, but we all blend. So we have different homesteads showcasing different experiences.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Maria, you mentioned homestays. So I'm guessing a lot of tourists, a lot of people from different countries must be visiting. How did you train the local community members to, in terms of hospitality, in terms of food preferences, in terms of making them, tourist friendly and, ready to welcome tourists? I'm sure the spirit was there, but I'm sure there was a little, you could call it, sanding of the rough edges sort of thing. So how did you train them, and what were the challenges like after you gained their trust?
Okay, the homestead tourism is like the uniqueness of one of our programs, the hospitality program, hosting people at a homestead, which is the smallest unit in a community. Like I said, when I would come to a community and find somebody who is an opinion leader who has a nice home, and then we would use that as a base. Then, because already that person is at that level. So also to inspire others, they would come and use that as our training platform in the compound, where they would go to her kitchen, where would go to her bedrooms, how it is kept, how it is, because the people have different means and different homes. They are the ones which are very basic, they are the ones which are middle, and the ones which go. But through our training, what we emphasize is hygiene. We emphasize hygiene. We have our organization we have a hygiene component where we train people into hygiene and sanitation. And it doesn't matter how your home, whether it is grass touched, whether it is, as long as it is clean and neat. It doesn't matter whether you don't have a fridge for what, as long as you can have your pot, it have your boiled water, it's in a corner, right. It's covered. Your food, where it is prepared, because when we have visitors, they go to where the food is prepared, they go from the gardens to the pool to the kitchens, and that's it. It doesn't matter where, as long as the basics is that you are neat, you are clean, somebody feels that they are comfortable, where one can wash hands, they see how your children are, they see. And if you want to see a home, whether it is in a urban areas or whatever, go to their washroom.
Right.
That is when you know that this family is a clean family. You might see the house and whatever, but you go to their washroom, go to their kitchen. So that is what we do. And that's how we train. So we train people in food, but we do train people in food presentation. You have your good food, how do you present it? And then we also said different cultures, have different ways of how they would like to have hot food, because they believe that the hot food is fresh, is hot. Then we show, something like a banana. You just peel it, so it's like somebody feels the confidence. It's clean. It's whatever. So the people have gardens. You get a pineapple right from the garden. Somebody sees it. You also get it, and you just slice it. It's there. It's fresh. So
Wow.
somebody won't fear that now, I don't know how long this fruit has been in the, so it's easy, but you just shape people through that homestead training, the training we give, we give them to package
Right.
their product, to package and present what they already have. Because we are not teaching them how to cook. They know how to cook their food. We are not
Yes.
teaching them how to dance. They know how to dance, but the way, personal presentation, personal hygiene, home hygiene and sanitation, those are the things we teach. And also to understand cross-cultural, experiences and expectations.
Yes.
Like things
Absolutely.
like, if you want, but then the education is not only on the local, on the communities, it's also on the visitors, because we also train them to be sensitive to people's culture, to be respectful, to dress in a way which is
Appropriate
not
way.
offensive.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is very important to actually
And
respect the
also
other
don't
culture
just
and
come and
dress
take pictures
accordingly.
of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yes. So it's both ways. We have sets of what we teach our visitors, and also our partners, our communities.
Right.
Absolutely. Maria, I agree with you 100% when you said that, visitors also need to be made sensitive. It's not just the host which needs to be sensitive to the needs of
Yeah.
the visitors. It's also the visitors who need to be sensitive of their host
Mm.
and the culture that they have.
Yes.
Very well said, Maria.
Yes. And then to add on that, we teach our community groups that tourism is seasonal, tourism is sensitive. Don't stop doing what you do. It's just to
Right.
supplement what your livelihood. And then we teach them our kind of hosting. It's not that it's, sometimes tour operators, they call me, said, Maria, where's your village? I'm passing by there. I have visitors. I said, no. For us, we do it in the African way. When an African family is going to host a visitor, if I know that you are coming, we plan. Is it a month? Is it, we said, we have visitors, we plan the food, we plan the home, we plan the gifts to give them, we plan people, is it a good time? Or are people planting? If people, is a planting season, rainy season is planting, people are busy.
Right.
If it's a harvesting time, it's a sunny time, there is food, that's where they even plan the weddings and whatever. Said yes. So our because ours is not staged, our experience is experienced, it's not staged. It's not that you
Right.
come and the people are there standing waiting. No. So that is what we do. If somebody said through our website would like to visit this community, I said yes. Said we send the message to our community mobilizer. Are you ready to host people for a day or 2 weeks? Yes, give us this time. Then we plan. That's how it is. And it has saved the people, like for when COVID-19 came and the whole tourism shut down, the people are able to continue, with their lives, with doing other things, not that they are waiting, that now they have closed because they depended 100% on what? On tourism. No, that is what we tell them. People come when they are expected, when the community is ready to have them. The people own it. They have a say. They said, no, we can't. No, sorry, we can't. So I told them, so no, not this time they can't. Or you might find a homestead. They also have their own program. Maybe they also have their own visitors, so there's not room. So it's a very easy program where we give ownership to the people, the confidence to be part of what we help them with is in the training is the costing. How much should we cost a visit? What activities are there? There'll be that people, a group for that entertainment. There'll be a group for the women who will prepare the food. There'll be the guides. There'll be the host. Then we see what are the products. Then we package them, and then we say this is the cost. Because at the end of the day, like a visit where in a community where they are, like you might find a community, there are attractions, there may be a historical site or whatever, but then not very many people have like that kind of good homes, but there's one central home, like our community mobilizers home.
Right.
So one home will bring fruits, Another home will bring maybe like chicken. Another one will bring like potatoes, and people will bring different as a group because they work as a group. Everyone is noted. So and so brought this, so and so brought this, and then at the end, when the costing is done, then they are able to share that money according to, so that even if you don't have the central home, you can also benefit in the group because of what you have.
Yeah,
so
and it can avoid the conflicts of
yes.
between the people, that someone is
Exactly.
getting, his home is better, so he's getting all the tourists that take
Exactly.
place, and always there is a problem between the costing. Like my home, I charge like a few hundred, and he charges few thousands, and then there becomes a ego problems in a lot of communities. I have observed.
Yes,
So
that's very important to raise that, because why we say that they do in groups. So there is during our trainings we emphasize integrity.
Right.
So the kind of person who is the main mobilizer, he's somebody of standing in the community, and people come like every week. They have like group meetings on their own. They are doing some other things, but then they also, when they host, they have a certain percentage where they save as a group. So they also have their own money as a group.
Right.
And then again, the program is linked to other people in the community. Like there is, every time we do a program in a village, we look for a school, like a rural school, which we link to the program, because the children in that school are their mothers are the one who are weaving, in the whatever. So we do in the school, when we the community has a project which they support, that some percentage of what they get, they supports that local school. And then the school is part of the itinerary of the homestead. So you find that visitors now go to the school. We've had experiences where they have donated to the school, they have come and taught in the school, they have fundraised for them. So they have that kind of relationship, which is good, so that people differently in the community, they see this program differently, that it's theirs, they own it, they see the benefits. And then again, when we have the village walk, the tourists or the visitors, they pass through the village pass, they talk to the people, they see them, and then that one also gets them to own the program and to like it and to see the benefits of it. And then again, on the issue of security, because security is paramount for visitors. So when you have people happy with the program, they look out for it. So they so that people can know that Maria is hosting visitors now. So people are careful, people are supportive. We go through the local council officials to say that yes, we have visitors, so it's owned wholly. And that's what has been the good part about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
also and then lastly, the husbands, they support their wives to participate in that program. Absolutely. Because when the women become productive, they support the husbands at the home. They have like now increased home assets, So, and they are treated differently. And so their husbands, they allow them to come to participate in these activities. So that's also one of the things which are the positive side of this homestead tourism or community tourism program, where you empower women. They are empowered at homestead level. They participate and in building, in increase their income, supporting their husbands, sending their children to school. We have it's good stories where the women are able to give lunch to their children, where they're able to afford to go to a clinic and have safe delivery of their babies. Those are the products which come out of the programs like this.
And it encourages everyone, not just women, but men, everyone in the community to take up good education, take up new skills, and learn some life changing or life improving lessons from all these things. And even it gives them more ideas about how they can come up with new allied activities which are not just related to tourism but other or what do you call small businesses as well. So I
Yes.
think it is always a multiplier effect. Like you have
Yes.
one tourist and it brings a lot of changes among that community, and it
Yeah,
does
it
help.
does.
Yeah.
It does. It does because like the shopkeepers now they have more market. They people who sell water, who sell like groceries, because
Yes.
though you can't host only on local food, you have to also have food which is comfortable to the visitors. So
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
the tax people who transport visitors, the motorcycle taxis, the you know
Exactly.
people who are selling airtime for mobile phones. All this, there's
Yeah.
gross. You can see gross. When visitors come, and then we showcase them on our website, or stories written in the newspapers. So the village gets a good exposure. People
Yeah.
start saying, oh, we didn't know this place was there. Oh, we didn't know these people can do this kind of thing. So growth comes in there.
Yeah, and it is very encouraging for everyone that oh, look what we have done and what we have achieved. And it can be inspiring for other communities also, that if these guys can do, then why not our village? And if they can develop,
Yes.
then even our village can be developed, and that is very encouraging. Yeah, Aniket,
Yeah,
you
but
want to
then
say
it's also
something?
not like he asked, it's not all rosy. There are challenges
Yes, yes,
dealing with community dynamics, doing it's not easy.
yes,
It's not easy. You have to be patient. You have to understand people. Their feelings. There are some who feel that no, uh, when this program it has come here, only this kind of people are the ones benefiting from it. What is in there for me? And then there are people who want, if we have to come for the training, are you going to pay us? NGOs, you have money, you can't, you have to give it. But then once you get local people to understand, then it becomes easier. For
Yeah.
example, when we do outreach, like we have a program with like I said, with rural schools, where we do mainly like rural hygiene, and we train the children in hygiene and pass on those messages. So now those children go back to their homes. Those children now are like our ambassadors, because a child said, no, at school they taught us, COBATI taught us, no, we must wash hands. We make our beds like this. We sweep in the morning. We have to be clean. So we found it easier to influence children. They go back and do what? And influence. And then also the women who are part of our group. These are women who work in the markets. So once they have that idea, once of cleanliness, of presentation, of empowerment, when they are in their market selling, they also take the information. Now they are influencers. They take the message to their fellow women there. So if
yes,
we are working here in the market, let's be clean. Let's not litter, everywhere like that. So let's not have plastic. So small messages,
yeah,
small messages. That's
yeah,
how we've been able
Yeah.
to. But it's
yeah,
it's not like we have like many villages. For me, my idea was to start slowly and let the people understand the message, because it was not easy at all. My fellow people, stakeholders in the industry, people know, say, Maria, what are you thinking? No one wants to go to villages. No one wants to go to take visitors to the rural areas. The money is in the safaris. So it has been very hard. But
right.
like now, government is coming up, the Ministry of Tourism is coming up, and now with COVID shutting international travel, now the focus is more now on domestic
Domestic,
tourism,
yes,
on rural areas. So I'm like, okay, now that this is where the focus is now. And then
right,
again, another thing, like it's about now people village tourism in like a national, domestic. Now I see it will be regional. And then I'm looking at intra-Africa, because, okay, COVID, sometimes you look at a crisis and then say, sometimes there's a silver lining. So like, what lessons are we learning out of the world shutting and people now starting looking within? What do we have to use as ourselves? So now the tourism is focusing now locally. And at COBATI, we are excited because we said what we've been preaching along, now the time has come, said, okay, let's see what to do.
Yes, absolutely.
That's why I'm excited to link up with people like you, because in India, you are so far ahead in this kind of tourism.
Yes.
I'm here to learn.
No. I think our countries do share a lot of common grounds in terms of culture and traditions and hospitality. And I'm sure that you can take a lot of examples from India and some success stories, and we can collaborate, and we are here to learn from each other actually. Yeah. So there are some things which we can learn from you, and a lot of things you can learn from us. So it's great. Yeah, Maria, I also wanted to ask, like, what are the success stories? Which all people from which all countries have visited you, and what was their experiences, and what activities they got involved in? So, can we know a bit of that?
I think my success story was the work we did with the Nubian community. This community is like 1 hour away from Kampala. Okay. They live, and they are on their way to the northern circuit of Uganda's tourism, to Murchison Falls National Park. So they are strategically located. They have a rich culture. But they were like poor. They were like oblivious of what the strength of within their culture.
Right.
So when we came, I realized I visited them. First, I was doing a consultancy. I'm a trainer, I do consultancy in tourism. So I was doing a consultancy for SNV. SNV is in International Dutch, Netherlands, development program. So they were doing, they wanted to promote livelihoods in that area. So they said, go and do research, tell us what are the best things, the tools these people have. So that's when I did a consultants around that area, and I saw their potential. And then in my report, I said the strength of that community lies within their women, the handcraft of their women, their food, their dances, their way of life is their strength. Then right. After that, SNV did not follow me with, but I had that report. I had gone deep into those villages. Then that's when I came to link up with that man, whom I told you, who invited me to the community. But I had been there before, so they knew me. So now when I came with that gentleman, that's when we started there. But right. Then again, of course, our organization is a small NGO where we didn't have like the means to do it. Most of the time I would use my own money and everything. So what was a proposal to a corporate organization called MTN Uganda. MTN is I can say the largest telecommunication company, across Africa, especially they are in West Africa, they are big in Southern Africa, they are in North Africa. So they as part of their corporate, social responsibility program, they had a foundation where they are promoting health, schools, education, and community involvement. So I'm like, and then they had a tagline which said, everywhere you go, MTN, everywhere you go, everywhere you go, you can have their link, you can talk with their mobile, their network. So I wrote to them, I was like, I would like to interest you into, you have a component of community involvement. I'm into this kind of thing. I would like to work with you to support me to introduce community tourism in this community. Then they were like, no, we don't do tourism, because when you say tourism, people automatically think it's leisure, it's high end, it's a, so we have that problem.
Yes.
Until somebody gets to know, gives the opportunity to explain the kind of tourism we do. So, you know, because we compete with people, other NGOs which are into, you know, like, you know, children, refugees, and whatever, those which have got, which get sympathy. But when you say tourism, so, but I persisted. And I had somebody I knew in MTN said, please, this is what it is, whatever. And I said, okay, come and do a presentation. They asked me to come and do a presentation at their board. I come, their board, they're seated there. I come with my PowerPoint. I started showing them the images from Bombo, the women, the food, the color, then the village, how it was born. I said, this is I showed the location, this is the highway. You know, I talk a lot. I don't even know what I talked. But at the end of it, they said, okay,
let's do it.
Cut the story short, they funded my program.
Wow.
So they funded my program because I ended my presentation by telling them that your tagline resonates with what we do. MTN, everywhere you go, you'll find MTN network. I said, anywhere you go in Uganda, you'll find attractions, culture, richness, which can be promoted and enrich Uganda's tourism product and increase your network. Everywhere you go, when tourism is, your network will reach there. And so I got the deal. I started in Bombo. In Bombo, I found the women, they were hawking their baskets. Everybody knew that Nubian women weave good baskets. They have a distinct color and pattern that when you see a Nubian product, whether you see it in Brazil, whether you see it in Australia, you'll know this is a Nubian product.
Okay.
Their products and patterns and skills are passed on from grandmothers to mothers, to daughters, to even young girls, young children. They start to show them how to weave. So their skill never die.
Right.
So what I did was to be able to go and to train the women. I wasn't training them to weave. They knew how to weave. I was training them to weave, targeting a market.
Right.
Because the women were weaving these things, and then you would meet them hawking them by the roadside, in trading centers, in towns. So yeah, that's a Nubian woman. Because when you see a Nubian woman, the way she's dressed, her nose ring, her colorful attire, the way they braid their hair in cornrows, those are women. They're distinctive like that. So we are able to train them, to show them that, mentor them and say, your culture is good, your culture is of value, your food is amazing, your homes, they are very clean people. The Nubian as a group, they are not rural. They came with explorers they come from the Nuba Mountains of northern of Sudan, and then they came with people like Emin Pasha and all those other explorers who were coming into East Africa. So they would carry their luggage. They are good drivers. They taught them how to drive. They are good. They are soldiers. They like their people because they are tall and whatever. You know, sort of like they are militant. They knew they came as, you know, guides for those people. And then so they came and got into the army. So they are very skilled in those areas. They are soldiers. They are drivers, and they are good cooks. And you know, because they got to learn about from those colonialists, the people. So after to know that they are good, those are their strong points. In 1954, Queen Elizabeth visited Uganda. The person who drove her in the car was a Nubian, a driver. When she came again for Chogam, the Commonwealth conference, the same driver was a Nubian drove her, and the Duke of Edinburgh, because he was also Nubian working with the British High Commission as a driver. And then that driver, he's now retired. He's a member of the community. His wife is a member of the handcraft group. So they have good stories to tell and whatever. So we did the training. We developed supported a group for dancers. Their dance is called Doluka dance, very colorful. We developed 10 community guides and 3 homestays in Bombo, and a craft shop on the roadside.
Okay.
So the women were no longer hawking. They now have a craft shop. I think some of those pictures they have the craft shop. They even have days when they display their baskets in the community and people come and buy. The market now comes to them. They no longer hawk. They are no longer the massive middlemen, because middlemen used to come and take their baskets and go and sell them for a higher price in craft shops in Kampala. But now this has changed. Even people come as far as from Nairobi in Kenya, whatever, they come to buy those baskets. So, cut story short.
So that people can see what we have to offer.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Just give me a
So,
second.
okay.
Yeah. Yes. So let me just. Can you?
Okay. I can talk about this. This is we do holiday camps because we have a training center for life skills. So we promote culture so that we bring our groups. They come to the schools. They teach people, like young children, to do skills, indigenous knowledge of people, like pottery. From a clay, you make a pot. So you can see here, these children are learning. These women are part of the village group. They are now teaching the children, because when we have holiday camps, we have an experiential day where we bring children to the villages where they can experience the life. You can also, I think, have other pictures where they are doing banana beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are they really making beer out of banana?
Uganda, we have
unique.
so many, a lot of banana. And where I come from in Southwestern, it's our staple food. But bananas, we have the sweet ones, we have the plantain, then we have this one where they are very different species of bananas.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so this is where they make the banana beer from, or the banana wine. They get the bananas when they are green. They make a hole in the ground. They put them there. They cover them for days. So the heat within there, they ripen. So the day for making the wine, people come. It's a community, affair.
Activity,
now you can see they are opening peeling the bananas and putting them inside that space. Then they like step on them. It's like how they do the grapes. They step on them, and then the wine they separate. It separates, the juice separates, and then they put it in calabashes, big calabashes and pots, and add sorghum, and then there you can make the beer.
Wow.
But if you want the wine, the banana juice, which is very nutritious, you get it from the juice of here. You boil it, sieve it. It's a very good drink which the community can share with the community. So here the children are getting this kind of experience, knowing we are trying through COBATI to instill the cultural heritage which are fading to the children, so that the young generation, they can grow cautious and know the value, and then take it up so that their cultures don't die.
Right.
Yeah. So now
this is so exciting. Are these the baskets? Yeah.
Yeah. These are the baskets. These ladies were from the US. They had come. Now you can see I am holding a bag.
Yeah.
We taught the women. These women were making mats for their own culture to sit down on and whatever. So I told them, I said, if you can make a mat, you can add value and make a bag, like a shopping bag. You can make a placemat. Right. You can make other crafts out of that skill. So that's the value addition through the training. So like now you can see the women like now said, don't use a basket only for maybe for food, whatever. It can be used as a wall.
Yeah.
hanging to the
to create a lot of different varieties of artifacts from the same thing, right?
So like now it increases their market, it generates more income for them. So this is part of our training.
Wow.
Yeah, from where they were to where they are now. Look at these baskets. You see, now we taught them, because when you see the Nubians, they are very colorful people. Their colors are bright, they are sharp. But then we train them that people maybe from abroad, they like calm colors, they like earth colors. So now, like now you can see like those baskets, we are trying to train them to focus to the market.
Yeah, sorry, my thing got closed. I'll just restart it again.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Can you see now?
Okay. Yes. Now this is what I was telling you. This lady in the middle, in a purple dress, she's a queen. She's a queen of Uganda.
Oh,
and
okay.
she's the one who came to visit. So inside here, she's in one of the homesteads of this group, and all these are the products the women make. Those are their mats. Those are their food baskets, their food covers. So they were giving her a lesson into weaving, because part of what we do when you visit, part of the activities, you can get a 30-minute, like a training to weaving or beading. And then also that is costed. So they were giving her a lesson. It was one of our highest moments to host her.
Right.
Host her. Yes. So this is where she is. Okay. This picture now takes us to the relationship which Uganda has with India, which goes back to 1800s. Because in around 1890, 92, the colonial people, the British, wanted to do a railway, because like Uganda is landlocked, and they but had potential for coffee and cotton and all the things, and Kenya as well. So they made a railway, the East African Railway, from the coast of Kenya, Mombasa, where it's like by the Indian Ocean, all the way to the border of Uganda to Kisumu. So they made the railway. Later on, the railway continued through Uganda. So now they used Punjab engineers from India, because the British had already developed rail lines in India. So they brought engineers from India and skilled workers also from India to build the railway. So that's how Indians came to Uganda, to East Africa. Uganda.
Okay, so we have a long relationship.
Uganda. And then again, also Indians, we have Uganda Indians who are full citizens in Uganda. So in 1948, I think Mahatma Gandhi is an icon. You also know him. He spent 21 years, I think, in Africa, promoting liberation of Africa from colonialism, promoting, social justice and all that kind of thing. So when he died, I think in 1948, in his will, he wanted 4 portions of his ashes to be sprinkled in different places in rivers. So one of the rivers he chose was the River Nile. So his ashes were sprinkled in the River Nile, which has its source in Uganda. River Nile, I think, is the longest river in the world, from Africa, Uganda, all the way to the Mediterranean. It flows into the Mediterranean through Sudan, Egypt, and Ethiopia, all that. So when he died, his ashes were sprinkled there. So since then, we've already known that his ashes were there. But now with tourism coming up, and the story, going, and the source of the Nile now being worked on as a tourism site of recon in Uganda, as the source of the Nile. So his statue was made. There's like a little shrine with his statue at the source of the Nile. So in 2016, 2017, I think, first a high official from India came. He was taken to the source, but then in 2018, your prime minister visited Uganda, and he addressed the Uganda parliament, and then he was taken to the source of the Nile. I don't know whether this is your I think your prime minister or the other one who came first in 2017, who was the vice. But many people come to the shrine, to this monument and put on flowers. So when the prime minister visits Uganda, and our president shared with him this information, and they took him there at the source of the Nile, and he promised, he said, there should be a heritage center, a Mahatma Gandhi heritage center here. So we are hopeful, and we are looking forward that through tourism and through that pledge, the center will be built, which will be, a platform for building strong relationship between India and Uganda in the spirit of Mahatma Gandhi. And I see Soul Journeys, this conversation also becoming part of this. We can do a collaboration. We can students from India can come and see the source of the Nile. People who are maybe scholars who are researching or writing about Gandhi. There are many spots in this kind of tourism beyond wildlife for Africa. There are many historical sites. There are many, interesting activities. There are many beautiful landscapes, rivers. We have like Lake Victoria, the second largest freshwater lake in the world. We have, good things which you can only experience when you come.
Right.
Now, I think this picture is when I'm doing visiting the communities, our women groups. We have like days where they display their crafts which they've been working on. I come, I look at them, and then we see how we can continue the training and how we can source market for the women. So this is one happy day. One day when you come, you too, this is where I will take you for a visit. This is one of our communities.
Right. So let me quickly take a check with other pictures as well.
Okay, this picture is part of the hand of the craft. I told you we have cattle keepers. So this is a platform for milk pots. These are when they are milking a cow locally, they use the
this pot to
milk pot,
milk.
but they are made of wood. I took a tour at this place, and they looked at them. They thought they were made of clay. I said, no, they are handmade, not with a machine. They are handmade by local people, local artisans. I think there is even one picture where they are still brown, but they dye them with the local, dye. They polish them every day. They keep the big calabashes are also for storing milk, for churning, milk to get butter, ghee, to get ghee out of there. Then those ones, like when you see this platform, it's like a dining room for that community. So every milk pot belongs to a member of the family. There are small ones for the children, then there are the big ones for the old people. So for them, they would drink milk. So they would sit here, and everyone, the mother or the wife would, after milking, they would put the milk, portion the milk for people. Then they would sit and drink the milk, which is an experience which you can still have when you visit our communities. Yes.
Yeah, sure. So I think this is
this one
that they are making, right?
Now they are making them. Right. That's how they are making them. But then they will later come to be, over time, to be like those beautiful ones which you see, and they are glittering, and you'd think that they are made of clay. But this is the beauty of the indigenous skills of the people of Africa, of Uganda.
Right.
In this picture, this is the CEO of MTN Uganda. When he had come to check out the project, this lady, in fact, she's our board member. She was the country director of South African Airways. The lady behind her, she was our Minister of Finance. That's the kind of people the women host. Now they were in the village, looking at the baskets and looking at the outcome of their support to the community. it was
Right.
very, very exciting for me. It was so gratifying.
I'm sure, sure.
Mhm.
Okay. So that was like really, I mean, your village sounds so colorful and so pretty, and people as well as sound so welcoming. And I think this is the way we would like to see Africa and change the perspective or about what people think about Africa as a country. And we definitely would like to change that entire destination image, what Africa has among other international destinations as well, that it is a very poor country, not very clean, or a lot of criminals around and things like that. But I think this experience would definitely change the whole perspective. And on my personal experience, I know African people are very friendly, very loving, very caring. I have friends from so many countries across Africa, and it has always been a very a good enriching experience with them. It was never that I felt threatened, or that is that the general thing what first comes into the mind of people around a lot of countries. But I never had any such experience. They were really beautiful people around me. Trust me.
Very
It
nice.
was really, yeah. I think Aniket wants to say something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Maria, first of all, I'm very glad because I echoed a lot of thoughts that you put out there. Tourism with communities has to be very respecting towards the communities. It has to be with mutual respect, with mutual love, a lot of admiration. And humans are not commodities. Whatever may they be tribals, may be from different backgrounds. Tourists can't treat communities, especially tribal communities, as a commodity. Like you said, that they can't just walk into the village whenever they feel like, or they can't do things on their own accord. It has to be done on the wishes of the community, and that's how we should move forward. So I'm very glad you said that, and it's really amazing to see all the people you have connected with you and the community during this journey. People from different walks of life, tourists, company CEOs, people from the royal family, and it's just amazing to see how this journey has shaped up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Over to you, Deepti.
And
Yes, yes, Maria, please.
okay, I just also wanted to show. I think there is one slide where I'm with children with
Okay.
in a village.
Okay. Let me check. Um,
They have like placards, showcasing placards. It's like I was training children in hygiene.
just give me a second. I'll just try to
Okay.
share that. Oh, is this the picture?
Yes.
Right.
Deepti, you'll have to close the share screen and open the photo viewer again.
Okay. Is it not visible?
No,
Not
now
yet.
restart the screen share with the full screen, as in the app,
Okay.
photo
One.
viewing app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now?
Yes.
Yeah, now you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
In
It
in
is
the
a collage
it's a
inside.
collage. I think
Yeah.
that's why it's like this. It's like you can see I'm in a village with visiting a rural school where we are doing we had a training for hygiene. So
Right.
we partner with the schools, rural schools, where we take them our program, the message. Here we are teaching children, wash hands, how to wash hands before you eat, wash hands before all those other things in the placards. We had
Right.
also presented to them a hand washing uh, uh, little station for them. These children are the ones I was telling you that they take the message back home.
Right.
These are now they have become our ambassadors to their home because each child comes from a home. So now you can see that once you target these children and you teach them to wash their hands, to be clean, to then they take the message. So it's one of our programs, and it's what we are looking for. In fact, we are seeking support to be able to develop a campaign a 6-month campaign in our target areas, to be able to prepare people, also to wake them up and tell them that COVID can only be managed by hygiene.
Yeah.
So that's what we are looking at, to be able to do an awareness campaign, because sometimes people might not think it's serious once they say, it's there, but we just want to show this message through radio, through community, radios, village places, to do the campaign. At the same time, we have our women who do the kind of needlework like this. So we are looking at also having support to be able to help them, because like now they are out of work, because they used to have these products to sell to tourists in craft shops. So now they have the skill. So we'd like them to start bringing face masks, because like now in Uganda, it's mandatory that everyone has to wear a mask. So these women, they can make, well, target is that if we get some funding, they can, our target is to have them produce 10,000 masks, which they can sell to their fellow community people at they can make them accessible, affordable, and accessible, so that and then at the same time, they'll also be getting an income from their skill. Now we are like routing from making the soft furnishings to making face masks. So this is the project we are embarking on. We are fundraising for it, we're seeking support to be able to conduct a 6-month aggressive rural hygiene campaign, awareness campaign, and also like improve the livelihood incomes of our women groups by making them having opportunity to produce face masks using their skills. So in that way, we are looking at mitigating the challenges of the communities are facing as a result of this pandemic.
Right, absolutely. That's a really good initiative. So Maria ma'am, we are now running out of time. So at the end of the show, we always have a quick rapid fire questions. So we'll be shooting out some good questions to you, and you have to rapidly answer them. They are fun questions, don't worry.
Okay.
Okay. So which is your favorite place to travel? Is it the mountains, the beaches, or the forest that you like the most?
The kind of travel I would love is like where I would meet people.
Okay.
Where I would meet people, where I would experience a different way. Like I said, how they live, what they eat, how their stories, how they host, how they like openness, like seeing beautiful landscapes. That's the kind. I'm not like so much of the beach person.
Okay.
Or at my age, 60 plus, to be doing the climbing. But I would definitely like to visit like a place where I can go in and meet the people and see the way they live and see the kind of products I can buy from there and taste the food, and that's the kind of thing. And of course, with a good accommodation, if they have like a good accommodation, a good hotel, I like comfort.
Right.
That's why I promote. I'm making sure that when you even come to the villages, whatever you do, sing, whatever, at the end, you want to have a good place to sleep in. Yeah. So if I can go to the village if there is a place where there's like a nice hotel, a nice whatever. I like that.
Right.
I like that.
Right. So which other country other than Africa would you, or a particular community that fascinates you, that I want to be a part of that community or visit them? Any other place in other parts of the world?
Definitely, I would like. India is on my bucket list. It's not that because I'm talking to you guys. No, for the longest time, I would like to visit the Taj Mahal. I would like to see the souks, or the jewelry. I'm intrigued about the jewelry. I'm intrigued about the the people who weave the like shawls. I have many of them in my
Wow.
in my wardrobe. I like to see color. I would like to see also the indigenous knowledge of the people. I would like to visit temples. You know, I like that kind of thing. I would like to do that. I would like to visit
And we will be so glad to welcome you, because me and Aniket are absolutely into that profession, and that is what we want to showcase to the people. So yeah, please welcome.
Yes, I like history. I would like to visit. I like to visit Morocco.
Yeah, Morocco is
In
beautiful.
North Africa, I'd like to visit Morocco. I would also like to visit South America.
Okay.
I'd like to visit South America because those are people whom we relate to. Whom we relate to. You know, here in Canada, one time I visited the Amish. My daughter took and her friend took me to visit the Amish community. They here in Canada, they conserved their culture. They move with horses. Their women wear traditional dresses. They have their you know, like their markets, the things they say. I'm intrigued with that kind of thing. I don't like to just visit, just like you know. I would like to go with a purpose to learn,
and to engage with the local people.
Yes. Yeah. I also like museums.
Wow.
In fact, in Uganda, I'm a chair of a community museum, which is, you know, faith-based. The church, the diocese I come from, they want to do a faith-based tourism. So the bishop invited me to be to chair the committee for. So we are into developing a museum, a community museum, but you know, showcasing the East African revival, showcasing the Church Missionary Society, that kind of thing. So such things intrigue me.
Right. So anyone,
Maria, if you land up in India, sorry.
No, please.
Maria, if you land up in India, I'm sure you won't go back. I'm sure once you're in India, I think there'll be so much to see. I'm sure you're never going back.
I know, because like now even my children say like, Mimi, what is it with you, India? Every time you have with India. Like it started with my Facebook friend Tawale, whom I used to follow through agritourism because I'm interested in developing it. So I would like his work. He would like his work. Then in June he invited me on a platform. So now we are going to do a collaboration. I'm hoping to develop agritourism in Uganda. And then after that, I got into another senior Ashoka Fellow, Paul Hidlap, who became my mentor through Ashoka. He's a senior Ashoka Fellow, also from India. And now I came to Soul Journeys. It's like amazing. And then there's another also very good person, Rupesh Kumar, who is doing responsible tourism. Or I've also been following him for a long time. So he also recently said if he'd like to host me on his platform. I'm like, my blessing is going to India, and I'm like, what is this? But India is you know, like India or South Africa or those places where there's history, where there is I would like to end on this note, saying that Africa is good, or also to send a message that people who are strong on their culture and they preserve it, these are the people who are going to survive. I think COVID has seen this. If you have your food and you keep it, you eat it. If you know how to live in an environment where things have changed, be mindful of your culture. I like people who teach their children their language, their culture, their dances, their whatever, so the children can know. But then there are other people, you know, Africa, where our children now we live this kind of elitist language. Children speak English or speak French or whatever, and then they have lost like their roots, which is very unfortunate. So through this program, I would like to know that Africa is good. Let's change the narrative. Whatever I do, I want to showcase Africa, its positiveness. Don't believe all these things you see on international media. Africa is good. And I tell people internationally, when the world opens up again, this is the time to visit Africa. because now like people in the US and all the other people, all they knew, the songs they know, the dances they know, these were what the slaves took there. These were songs of resistance, songs of mourning, dances of mourning. But now you can come to Africa. There are things which they did not tell them. You can come to Africa now through our program and you are hosted. You see the food, you see the dance, you see how healthy people, healthy children, beautiful landscape, fresh air, live food. In Africa, we eat live food. You go to the garden, the journey is so short. You pick the food, you cook it, you eat it. You breathe fresh air, no pollution, no AC. You know, this is Africa. The time to come to Africa is now, and I'm so
Right.
excited.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And as far as I know, the COVID situation has been so well handled by most of the countries in Africa, unlike other big countries of rest of the world, and that is makes it so remarkable that wow, such countries which we say that these are the, say for example, third world countries or poor countries, and they don't have any medication or anything, but the way they have controlled the entire situation of COVID is so good. I mean, I really respect that.
Thank
Yes.
God for that.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you so much for hosting me to this platform. And I hope that something will come out of this. We'll take it further than this. For us, we are open. Would like to start a journey together.
Yes.
This whole journey, so that it grows and it becomes meaningful, for us personally and also for our countries. Enriches our tourism product. Uganda is a beautiful country. Uganda people are happy. They love people. Uganda is the part of Africa. We are at the equator. We have snow. The equator, we have the snow at the Mount Rwenzori over 5,000 meters. So everything is beautiful there. Please do
Right.
come. And India is part of us.
Yes.
Take the story of Mahatma Gandhi having his ashes in Uganda, the source of the Nile. Share it with your young people, share it through your platform, your universities. Let's do exchanges.
Yes, absolutely. We have this, I think, a lot of connections between two of our countries, and not just historically, but even culturally. And we have so many of our people staying in those Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, so many places, and we share a lot of good bonds. And definitely we'll try our best to make this worthwhile, and yeah, make it a good soulful journey for every one of us.
Yeah. Please put Uganda and COBATI on your bucket list, both of you. One day
Yes.
it will be my pleasure to host you.
Definitely. The moment flight starts, we are there.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Okay.
Aniket, over to you.
It was a pleasure hosting. Yeah, it was a pleasure hosting you, Maria. There's a friend of mine from Kenya called Mordecai. He works in wildlife conservation, and he had shared this on a platform once, saying the big white conservation lie that Africa is only saved by people of the white skin color. You are a perfect example of how African people are standing up for their own and creating stories that are to greater heights than never seen before. So I'm so glad to have you on a platform, somebody so inspiring, so humble, and yet working so hard despite all the things that are happening around. It's good to always hear stories of hope, and I'm so glad that we could connect with you across continents, across all these barriers that we have today, and just revel in the glory of true spirit of tourism, bringing joy to the communities, bringing economic prosperity, and even keeping the traditions and the cultures alive. I'm so glad that we all could come together on this platform and share this conversation. I can't wait to get to Uganda soon. I would love to visit the wildlife. I would love to visit the communities. I would love to just come there and live there for a bit. So it's not just a visit for me. I think we want to feel the culture. We want to live there, see what it's like to be in the a day in the life of a local. So I'm looking forward to it. Just waiting for the flights to reopen now.
Thank you so much. 1st October, Uganda might open up for international flights.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'll keep you informed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, people. I enjoyed having this conversation. And please
Yes,
keep
me
doing
too.
what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
are so grateful to you. So
Thank
thank
you.
you guys for listening to us and thank you for the overwhelming response. And keep watching us for our next episode. This time we are going to be live on Saturdays at 6 p.m. on Soulful Journeys and RNHR Facebook live pages. So keep following and keep traveling. And it's soon going to open up everything. So keep traveling. Be positive. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.